it's time to focus on the console. Now you saw me in a couple of episodes back where I constructed this out of cardboard. I called it my CAD design. I think I've got it nailed down. Now it's not too late to make any changes, and it won't be too late to make changes after we start using the material that we're gonna use. But this has got us way, way ahead of the game, all right? This did not cost me anything to screw up. All right, so just to keep it simple, I could go over and get me a brand new sheet of aluminum over in the metal bin or steel, but look at here. I've got some panels here, and I'm not even sure where I've got them, but I've had them for a while. I'm not sure if they were panels that were on a light fixture or a fluorescent light, but they don't have any holes in them in the area that I'm gonna use. They're the perfect thickness of material to do what I'm gonna do, and they didn't cost me anything. They're the perfect size. We're gonna lay this on these, trace it out, and then go ahead and get our cuts ready, because we're gonna make a console out of these two pieces of scrap metal. All right, let's get these things cleaned up so that we can draw on them, and then we'll get them cut up. All right, so here I'm just going to roughly trace out the console, leaving me a little bit of extra room so that I can make some adjustments later, and then we're gonna get this stuff cut out. Well, you guys know I beat myself up pretty good on this console. I wanted it to look period correct with a little twist. I didn't want it to be boxy, didn't want it to be very heavy and made out of wood with square corners. I wanted it to be round, sexy, just like the car is. So that's why we did this. Now, where did this shape come from? Well, you guys saw what it looked like before. I lost a good friend a few weeks ago, George Poteet. Great man, great mentor. Did a lot of work for him. He was part of our car club, car culture in the area. This is a very, very similar silhouette to his race car. You can't really see it there, but without the sharp, pointy stuff that you would normally see on a race car and the wings and the spoilers and stuff, this is kind of a rounded version of that. So that's just another way that I got inspired to do something. All right, back to the material. Now this material, this is scrap. I could very easily get some wood, some steel, some aluminum, some plastic, whatever I want to do. But I'm just showing you guys a little bit about how to recycle. I don't even know where this came from. I probably had it 5 or 6 years over in my metal stash, and it's time to use it. So what bugs me the most is that once I cut this up and use it, I'll find out that it's for a very important piece of equipment somewhere that I forgot about. But we're gonna take that chance and use it. So I traced out the silhouette. I'm gonna do the same side of the console on the other piece so that I know that I've got a matching set. Now, I did leave this console as one solid piece for now, instead of taking it apart and using the sides and the top and stuff as a template. So let's get this cut out, and let's get the other side marked and keep on working. The bottom side has got this lip right here, and we're going to do some shrinking and stretching where this thing does all of its curving. But we want to make sure that we have a lip on the top side too, because what I'm going to do is either spot weld, or I can put some fasteners in to hold the 2 pieces together or the 4 pieces together, or we could weld it. All right, let's get this thing cut out. And as you see, I decided not to leave the extra to fold down. I'm gonna make that a separate piece. That's the only way I feel like I can make them both the same size. Let's get up the edges, sand it down just a little bit with a file and 80 grit. That way we won't get any splinters in our hands, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, another test fit after we got through welding the flanges on the top, and I'm still liking it. I think it fits the car well. It's small enough and not too big. It's thin, but not too tall. Yep, let's keep moving. This thing cut out roughly. Now we're gonna go ahead and roughly tape it down. And we got some final trimming to do because I don't really want to have to trim the metal more than I have to. All right, well, the day's gotten long. I'm gonna pick this thing back up in the morning. We're gonna go ahead and make this top out of metal, and we're gonna locate the shifter hole, figure out what we wanna do with the console lid, and maybe get the top tacked on in place. All right, for those of you that are following along on the Impala build, it's time to finish up the seats. Now, you saw me do one side, and now we're gonna do this side, and then we've got to finish boxing everything in, so don't go anywhere. This is gonna get fun. Now, what I've done off the video is I've made the skirt for the other side of the seat, all right? I've been folding it around, getting it where I want it. I'm clamping it in place. Now, I need to take this straight piece, take it over to the shrinker stretcher, and go ahead and make this curve right here so we can duplicate this side right here. Now here's a closer look. This piece is bent, curved. This piece right here is 1 inch by 3/4 inch. And then I went ahead and shrunk it around the corner, and it goes back and it's tack welded in to the piece that covers up the hinge. All right, so we've got to box in all of that. We've got to cut the lip of the back so that when the seat folds down, that won't hit. Using the shrinker, make a little radius, hoping to match the other side, and we can finally get it done. All right, we're gonna get this stuff clamped in, try to get it as close as we can to where it's gonna go so I can make some finish cuts. I think we can live with that. Now these marks that I'm making here now are gonna be where I cut it really, really close, and then I butt joint it and weld it up. This one we're gonna go ahead and cut in an angle, give it a nice smooth look, because all of this metal here is gonna be covered in leather. More of that to come. Here I'm going ahead and boxing in the skirt around the seat hinge. This will give it a finished off look and give us somewhere that we can glue our leather to, and it's going to look awesome. And now to do the same thing on the other side. And this will pretty much complete the lower portion of the seat. All right, so I know what you're thinking. Spanky, you're not finished with it yet. No, I am roughly finished with the outside portion. Now this is gonna get covered in leather, so you'll have to stay tuned to see that. I'm gonna make sure that these cushions still fit well. And then I think we're gonna be done with this for a minute until we shape the foam a little bit. And then once that's done, we can start doing the seats, and then we'll make our patterns, and then we'll sew up some leather for this. All right, so the next step is the fitment of the rear armrest, the rear door panel against the seat. The seat is going to have sew foam added to it along with the leather that we're going to use for the material. So this section here needs to be done first on both sides so that I'll know how much I need to trim off of the cushion and my design of the cushion and the design of the bottom of the seat where it's going to meet this right here. So we're going to get all that situated. We need to add our foam to the metal, the factory metal piece, if we're going to reshape it. Then we've also got this piece right here that I cut off of the seat. Now I can glue that back on the seat and have the seat do a little jut out right here, but I really don't want to do that. I don't want the seat to have to come over here. So I want to make an extension to this, or make an extension to the door panel to where it fills in this gap over here. All right, so I know I switched sides on you, but this is the area that I'm talking about. Now this is a little cardboard piece that I cut out. This is the void that I was telling you about. All right, so what I need to do is try to figure out what I want to do right here that doesn't look like it's part of the seat, but it looks like it's part of the armrest. Once we get this figured out, we can add that to the armrest, and then we can move on from there. And we're using cardboard like we have in the past. It's cheap, it's bendable. Well, you know, CAD. It's about the only kind of CAD I know how to do. You gotta pretend like you know what this is gonna look like when it's done. We're gonna have a piece of seat right here, whether it's going to be a raised foam, whether it looks like this, not really sure yet, but we don't want this to look like it's part of the seat, I don't think. I'm not really sure that's what I want to do yet, but it's a start. So basically I just got through completely tearing apart the rear seat that we built. Not to do anything other than to just get it out and make a couple of cuts. But give some of you guys that are just now finding the channel and just now finding this complete custom upholstery job a chance to see what we've done to the seat so far. That was a lot in this episode, guys. We touched base on a lot of different things. We got a lot more to go. We've got a complete Holley EFI fuel injection system in that goes on top of there. We got custom valve covers to make. We've got the final tin work to prime and put in. Moving on into the inside, we've got the seats back in. We've got to finish the console because I didn't have enough steel to finish the top and I lost some of the footage of welding that. We've even done the back seat back in, and we've got one side piece done, and we're going to mimic that on the other side. I'm going to show you how I did that because I lost the footage on that as well. Seats are in, they're ready to be covered. Still need to make some patterns and pick out which design we want to do. And then in a couple of videos coming up, we've got all the details and stuff that went into making all of this trunk and a lot more. And this is just one of about 12 projects on this channel that this old man's doing. Trying to teach you guys some tips and tricks, how I get it done, and I get it done on a budget using simple tools. So, if that's something that you're interested in and you made it through this far, do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and start following us along. We've got a lot to teach you, I've got a lot to learn myself, and I can't wait to keep continuing to do it. So as always, if you're through watching, I sure appreciate it. Now get out in the garage and go build something. See you guys in the next episode. Coming soon. Spanky's gone.